guys have had a great start to your new year and that you are doing well. Today I am going to be talking about how I plan and set up my goals and my dreams and visions for the new year and what I do, and then I'm going to share some of my hopes for this year with you as well to hopefully give you a little bit of inspiration. So first I just wanted to point out some of the tools that I use to help me stay focused and plan, and helps inspire me to really dream bigger and really see what my hopes are for the year. So the first thing that I have is the self-care planner. The self-care planner. This is from the company called Simple Self, and it's a daily planner, but it actually really is cool because it helps you to prioritize your self-care and your goals and stuff. And there's pages for planning out these categories like work and mental health and physical health and romance and stuff. And so it really helps you to kind of come up with ideas of ways that you can better yourself throughout the year and through the weeks and the days. And so I really liked that because it helped me to get a lot more out that I normally would, because it just I had so many more thoughts and goals. And I'm a very goal-oriented person, so I love setting tons and tons of goals, which you'll see later in this video, and it might be a little bit overwhelming. So if you're not the kind of person who does well with a lot of goals, then definitely don't do that. It's totally normal to not set as many goals as I do, but they really motivate me, and I just find so much joy in having all these dreams for my year and stuff. And of course, your year never goes exactly according to plan. We all have road bumps and hurdles and stuff that we have to overcome during the year. But by setting myself up for success, I feel like my years go a lot better. And the past few years have just been so hard on everybody for multiple different reasons. And so last year was one of my better years in the last few years. So I'm hoping that 2022 will be the best year yet. And so just having these goals and hopes really helps me to dream bigger and to make better use of my time. But anyways, this planner also comes with self-care cheat sheets. So it comes with a bunch of ideas of if you need relaxation, you can take a bubble bath or try meditation or stargaze. And then if you need connection, what you can do, all these different topics. So that's cute too, to give you some inspiration to start. And then you can set all your goals for all these different categories in it as well. And design, wow, I can't talk. Design your ideal routine and stuff, which it even talks about how obviously not every day is gonna go according to your routine, and that's okay. It gives me a lot of motivation when I do this. And then further on in the planner, after you do all your big goals and dreams for the year, you start your monthly intentions and stuff and your monthly planning. So every month, the first page of the month is your monthly intentions. So how you want to go about doing your goals in all these categories for the month. And then you have a calendar that you can fill out, and these little cute things like an act of kindness and treat yourself and don't forget. And then your personal and your work goals for the month, which is really cute. And then each month they give you a self-care challenge too. So this month would be do something outdoors on every sunny day this month, because vitamin D keeps your immune system in check and gives you a mood boost. So I like that it gives you ideas and challenges too. And then at the end of the month, there's this monthly review sheet too, where you can talk about your top accomplishments and you notice good and bad and how you can improve next month and stuff, and checking out how you're doing in all these areas of life, because I think it's really easy to kind of just get in a rut and get to check up on yourself and to see how you're doing. And so I think that's really important to stay healthy and to have a healthier lifestyle, which is something that I think most of us are after. And then once you get through the monthly stuff, you get to the new weeks. And so every week they have a little week of, and then like you track your sleep and your mood and then these habits and then a reward for doing the habits even, which can be really motivating. I've really liked doing that because I don't normally do that just because I find goals kind of motivating in of themselves, but like this like reward section has been pretty cool too. And then you can prioritize your to-dos, and then each day looks like this. So every day you get a full page to plan out your schedule, your to-do list, a self-care thing, track your water, your meals, your exercise, and then something you are grateful for, and your top goal of the day, and even the weather. So it goes pretty in depth, which is really helpful for me because I've found that I have way more time in my day, and it's just really helped me to stay on top of my goals, even though it's only been like a week so far. I would definitely recommend this if you are looking to get super organized and on top of your goals and your visions and dreams. The next thing that I use when planning out goals is this other thing from Simple Self called the Balance Notebook. And so every day the spreads look like this. And so you fill out your work and personal life. And for work, it'll say, today I'm creating balance by taking regular breaks, prioritizing my tasks, staying positive, sticking to a schedule. And like you check what you're doing that day, and then you can kind of like write your plan for your work and your personal life. And then these are just other notes for the day. And every day there's either an affirmation or a word of the day, which is really cool. And then you can kind of put reminders in for tomorrow too. So I use these to kind of like plan out some of my goals too, and to go more in depth into them when I'm planning. Like I'll plan for my blog or for my YouTube, or just for personal things like cleaning the house or all the errands we gotta run, or things with Beckett and stuff. So that has been really cool, and it helps me to just kind of stay on top of the planner a little bit more. And then these last few things are just other helpful organizational things. So I have this is from Rifle Paper. It is a weekly meal plan, so it helps because it has a shopping list that actually tears off right here, so you can take it with you. And I find that really helpful because when I'm meal planning, then I can just go and write down everything I need to get here that I don't already have. And so I really enjoyed it. And then you can just hang this like on your fridge. This half of it will just like keep, so every day like everyone in the house knows what you're having. And so that has been really nice too. And these just like rip off, so every week's just a new sheet. And then the last two things that I use are these two notebooks, also from Rifle Paper. I think they're really pretty, and that helps. But this is just like a list that says 1 through 12. And so like I'll use this if I'm making like a list of plans for the day, or if I need to list out some ideas, like some inspiration for YouTube or inspiration for things I can do with Beckett that week and stuff. So it just kind of helps me to be able to like write my thoughts down more. And then this one is just another weekly one. So if I have a lot of things that I need to plan in the week and I don't want to just put it in my planner, I can kind of like jot them down, organize them better here, and then make them more official in my planner. Or we use this sometimes as like a family, like this has our family events going on and stuff. So just good little things to have to kind of help you get more organized. Because I find that if I just like write down some goals on a piece of paper that like, and I'm not tracking them and I'm not actually having these things that help me to do them more, that I just don't do them as much. But these things really do help to inspire me. So if you're similar to that, I definitely recommend these things. But now let's get into my goals and dreams for this year. So I separate them into 6 categories, kind of based on how the planner separated them for me, honestly. But I really liked how they did and what different categories they had. So my categories are work, well-being. So work is like career or school, and for me, I don't have like an official job. I am a stay-at-home mom primarily. And then I do like YouTube and blog, mostly for fun right now, but I kind of do consider it my work too. And then for well-being, that would be like your diet, your fitness, your mood, things like that. The next category is relationships, so like your friends and your family and your spouse or boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever, your partner. And then Recreation is the next category, and that's like things that are just for fun, travel, hobbies, etc. Finances is the next, and that's just like your budget, finances, savings. And then spirituality is the last category, and that's like your beliefs and reflections and stuff. So now I'll go through. So we'll start with work. So going off of my like YouTube and blog side of the work goals, these are the goals that I have for that. So the first thing that I want to do in 2022 is learn more editing tips and tricks. So obviously I'm very new to YouTube and to blogging and social media and stuff, and so I just want to improve my skills in that area and in that regard. So just like, taking classes online or even watching YouTube videos of people's tips and tricks and just kind of experimenting with the different softwares and stuff. So that's one of my goals. The next one is to build my YouTube subscribers. So again, I'm very small right now because I'm very new to this. But I think if I can put in the time and the effort to it, one of my goals would be to build more subscribers this year. And I don't like necessarily always setting number goals for everything, just because it can be defeating or frustrating if you don't get to a certain point at a certain time. I think they can be helpful in some situations. Like definitely sometimes you need to set like very, very specific numerical goals, and that will really be helpful. But for me this year, I'm just being like gentle on myself and putting in the effort and seeing what happens. And if I can build up any sort of subscriber count, then I'll be happy. And then another thing is to update my blog. I started a blog a couple of years ago, and then I stopped for a little bit of time just because of my health and everything. And so I'm trying to pick that back up, and I kind of just want to redesign it and kind of revamp it, give it a little more life, and have it reflect me a little better. And then build a good work-life balance. Again, I am mostly a stay-at-home mom and a wife, and but I do try and make YouTube and Instagram and stuff kind of my work. That's kind of my goal for this year, is to make that more of like a work thing, and so having more of a dedicated time and schedule for it. So work-life balance would be the next goal for me, is to really figure out how I can manage those two things effectively and to still feel successful in all aspects of life and not feel overwhelmed or in a rut. And so those are like my social media, YouTube, work goals, whatever you call them. And then the other side of work is, again, being a mom and a wife. And so one of my goals for that this year is to establish a cleaning schedule for our house. So I pretty much do clean our house most days of the week. I'll tidy up here and there and stuff. But I kind of want to have like dedicated days of like, okay, this is when I deep clean the kitchen, and this is when I deep clean the bathrooms, and this is when I dust and stuff. So really trying to set up a schedule and finding what works best for me. And of course, like, you can't be perfect with that everything every day. Life happens and stuff. But just getting into more of like a schedule with that. And then of course, like, I do vacuum every day and wipe down the counters and kind of like tidy up messes as we go. But just like the deeper, less fun things that come with cleaning, I like to separate into more daily tasks so they don't take as much time. And then another goal is to start doing like preschool with Beckett at home later this year. I mean, he just turned 2, so like we're not quite there yet, but towards the end, mid to end of 2022, I'd start to like getting him ready to go to preschool. So some of my plans for that are like creating like little activities for him to be able to learn more things that they would teach him at preschool, so that he has more of a head start on those things. And I'm honestly not sure if I'm going to do preschool at home with him fully yet, or if I'll send him to preschool. It kind of will depend where we are and how COVID is and everything at the time. But I still want to do some like preschool prep with him beforehand. So that is a goal. And then also just, I'd like to take an online class for fun, like from a university. There are a lot of universities that offer like free courses in so many different topics. And I find it so much more interesting than when I was in college to take classes. I did graduate from college several years ago, and I got my degree in public health. But I just have so many different interests that like you could never cover them in a 4-year degree. So I just like to take other classes just for the fun of it and to expand my mind and stuff. Okay, and then moving on to the next category is well-being. So my number one goal in this category this year is to take a happy picture every single day. So that could be as simple as like just taking a picture of like me and Beckett playing, or like just something that brings me joy that day that I did. I tried to do this last year a few times, but I just always forgot. But any day that I did it, I was so much more focused on like how well my day was going and like, oh, I could take a picture of this, I could take a picture of this. And I've been doing it the last week, and like I have several pictures from each day because you are just so much more focused on the good in your day and staying happy and positive. And it really does make such a big difference to like my mental well-being. And so I really enjoyed doing that. It can be as simple as like, oh, the sun came out today, and like taking a picture of that, or it could be as big as like, look at this cool vacation we went on. Like just taking a picture to remember that moment every day really helps your brain to like look more for the good. And so that's been really helpful for me. I really enjoyed doing that. My next goal is to take a social media break day every week. So I think I've done this several times too, but to really do this more consistently is to just take a day off from phone, not being on emails or social media or news or anything. Really helps to like reset my brain and make me just feel happier and better overall. Yeah, if you just get caught up in like the social media like ruts and just like feeling overwhelmed by it, definitely just take a day off like every now and then. It doesn't have to be every week, it could be every week, but I definitely want to do that for my own mental health. The other thing is to exercise 6 times a week, which may sound like a lot, but I am doing something called the Levine protocol, which is something for a health condition that I have that helps it. And it has made a really big difference for me, so I just want to keep up with that and keep progressing in it. So that requires 6 days of exercise a week for almost an hour, which is a lot, but it is worth it for me. And so, I mean, even if you just are like getting out for a little bit to go for a walk, I definitely recommend trying to get exercise in every day. It just gives you so many more endorphins, and like you feel productive and you feel healthy and your body just feels better. The next goal is to do yoga and laughter yoga a couple times a week. So obviously you know what yoga is. It's just really good for your body. I always feel so good when I just take time to relax and to just stretch my body and take that time to just have time for myself, honestly. And then recently I learned about laughter yoga, which if you don't know what that is, it's like hilarious. You should look it up on YouTube or something. But it's essentially where you just like are forcing yourself to laugh, and it causes your brain to feel happier even though like it's forced, and you do like these silly little actions with it. It's not actual yoga, like you're not doing yoga poses while you laugh or anything. You're literally just laughing, and like it is so funny to watch other people do it, and it's so silly when you do it yourself too, but like it is so good for you and it feels so good. And then the next goal is to do no phone for 2 hours in the morning and 2 hours at night. And I have a hard time with this one just because like it's so tempting to just check your phone first thing in the morning and like right before you go to bed too. But the days that I've done this in the past are so monumentally different that like it is so worth it to not have your phone. You get so much more done in the morning, and like you just feel so much more relaxed in the evening too. So even if you just try this for a little bit, like it will definitely help like raise your happiness and your productivity. And so that is my goal, to do that every day this year. And so we'll see how that goes. The next well-being goal is to do sugar only on the weekends, because I have such a sweet tooth. I love chocolate. I would eat it every day if you gave it to me, like literally. And I wouldn't say that I like eat too unhealthy, but I definitely could have less sugar in my life, and I know that it would make me feel better. So the goal is to only do that on the weekends this year, and to indulge just a little bit every now and then. instead of feeling like I need it every day. And then the next one is to try like more whole foods and less toxic products. So I've been getting really into that a lot lately, like the whole toxic product stuff. Like, it's ridiculous how many like gross things are in all our foods and like our cleaning products and our cookware and like all these things. So my goal is to kind of start switching over more to the non-toxic stuff, like non-toxic candles even, and the non-toxic cookware, and eating more natural foods and less processed and gross food. So I just know that we'll feel so much better if we do those things in our house, and so I definitely recommend that, like, looking into that if you're interested in it, because I think it will make a big difference. So I'm excited for that one. And then moving on to the relationship category, my number one goal here, well, I don't really have a number one. These aren't really in any order, honestly. But my first important goal is to have weekly dedicated date nights with my husband. We used to be good at this before COVID, but with COVID, it's just fallen apart. Like, we rarely do like planned date nights now. So we decided this year that we were going to plan them and dedicate a day to do this. And we did our first one yesterday, and it was so fun to have it be like planned out, and like you wait for it all day, and it just like feels good to like have this planned thing to do together and to spend that time that's dedicated to that together. And so we're gonna try and do that every week this year. And then the next thing that I want to do is to make like a dedicated play schedule with Beckett. So like I've seen other moms do this, where they have like Monday is the day where like we go to the park or we go to a museum or something. And obviously a lot of that also depends on the COVID situation, which isn't too great right now, but we'll see how it goes as the year progresses. And then like Tuesday would be like we cook something together or bake something together, like it's like cooking in the kitchen day and stuff. And like there's just like dedicated days I think would be good to help Beckett and I spend more time together and to have things to look forward to, and also just to help him develop his brain and his skills and his motor skills and stuff. Another thing that I would like to do more is to write letters to like my friends and family. I just think like it's so sad that we don't write letters anymore. I think it is so cute that people used to do that all the time. And I also like love when people send me like a note in the mail, because that rarely happens nowadays. And so I just think like I could brighten people's day more by just like sending little letters to them, and being better about like thank you notes. Like when somebody gives you something or does something for you, just like writing a thank you note, because again, like a lot of people just don't do that anymore, but I think it's something that I would like to start doing more of. Another thing is to make a new friend this year. So we are moving out of this state in May, and we're probably moving to a place that neither of us has ever lived before, where we don't know anybody, which is terrifying and exciting. But we're not gonna have like our friends or our family around, and so we won't be comfortable. So my goal is to make a new friend where I live, which is a little scary because like I said, we know nobody, but I definitely think that that is something that I want to do, is to make and build those relationships even in this new place, and to maintain the ones that I already have here that I'm leaving behind, and the friends that I have back home even from a long time ago, just maintaining those relationships even if it's from a distance. My family and I made this goal that we were gonna do for service projects this year together, just to kind of like grow closer together and also to serve the community. So that's like about like once a quarter we'll plan something to do. Things like the sub for Santa is like an example. Or going and serving at a homeless shelter, or making blankets for babies, things like that. Just like we'll pick something every quarter and we're gonna do it together and spend a day doing service. And then the next category is recreation. So one of my goals is to read 50 books this year, which sounds like a lot, but I love to read. I read a lot of books, and you'll see that I'm gonna have a video about that coming up, about some of my favorite books from the past year. But last year I did read 45 books, so this year I'm going to try and read 50. And then I'd like to go on more weekend trips and adventures this year. Again, like circumstances allowing us to do that with COVID and everything. We'll see what happens, but we are moving to a place likely on one of the coasts where there will be way more opportunities to travel to different places. We'll be a lot closer to things because where we are in Utah, there is not a lot around us, honestly. There are the mountains, which are beautiful and stuff, but I mean, you can only go to the mountains so many times, in my opinion, before you want to see something else. So yeah, we're excited to go and explore other cities and towns once we move. And then another goal is to learn a new hobby each month. So like I said, I have so many interests. Like I love gardening and I want to get better cooking and baking, and I like florals and I like knitting and painting and all these different things. And I'm not like that great at any of it because I haven't dedicated a ton of time to it. So I just want to take time this year to like really get more into some of these hobbies and explore them and learn them better so that I can kind of just expand my creativity. And then another thing is that I would like to make a seasonal bucket list. So like spring, summer, autumn, winter lists of like seasonal activities that are specific to that time period to kind of enjoy the seasons more. I've seen several people do this on social media and on YouTube and stuff, and I just think it's such a great way to really like celebrate the current season that you're in and enjoy that time and be in the moment and in the present. So my goal is to make different bucket lists this year and do some different fun things together with my family and friends. The next category is in finances. So a first goal is to have a monthly and weekly budgeting meeting with Taylor. We have been doing this a little bit lately, more than we used to, and it's been really helpful. Like we have spent so much less money, which is like amazing because we just used to spend money without like even realizing we were spending it, I guess, because we have saved so much money by doing this like simple thing of just like putting a budget, and it hasn't been that hard. Like it hasn't been hard to follow our budget or anything. I feel like we still are doing pretty much everything we want, which is like such a blessing. So I definitely recommend that. Try budgeting like for yourself or with your partner or whatever. Just like it saves you so much money. And then another thing is that we are trying to save up for a down payment. Taylor is graduating college at the end of April, May. So we are going to be moving and he's gonna have his first real job, you can say. And so we are excited to save up for a house. And so we are definitely trying to save the money for that. And so that is a big goal this year, is to allow that budget to help us to save better. And then I also want to save for our other home expenses. Like buying a house comes with a lot of more space. I mean, we live in a 3-bedroom place here, but it is not the size of a house or anything. It's not it's like 1,200 square feet, which is amazing. We have loved this place. This has been such a great place for us. But as we get older and expand our family more, we're going to be looking for a house, and so that'll come with more space, which will require more cost and more furniture and decor and stuff. And so that's another thing, is that I've been trying to save up and plan out the home decor that I really want to invest in the future and make sure that we have the savings for that. And then the final thing in finances is to make more charitable donations and be more giving to others. We always donate to our church, and we usually do donate around Christmas to other things too, but I'd like to be more expansive in our giving this year, by donating things to like charities and donating money to charities even. And honestly, just helping people who are our friends and family around us, being able to help them more and give to them more. I think that would be such a great thing to do. And then finally, our last category, like I said, I have so many goals, but this is our last category, is spirituality. So in this category, one of my goals is to journal every day. And I really did get into the habit of this past year. And it is so therapeutic to just write in a journal every day, write down your thoughts and your feelings. And even if it's just for a few minutes, you don't have to summarize everything that happened in your day. You don't even have to write about your day. You can just write about something that was on your mind or something. And I just love it. I think it's so helpful, and it's helpful to see like the progress that you make in a year and as an individual and stuff. And so it has been so helpful for me. The next thing is to do gratitude daily, which my planner does have a spot for gratitude, which I think is so cool. But I like writing these down in my journal too, just thinking of the things that I was grateful for that day, and it really does help keep your mind more positive. And then the next thing is to do daily scripture devotionals. Another thing that I really started doing daily last year was reading devotionals and reading my scriptures every day, like thoroughly, and studying them more. So that's something I'm excited to do again this year, is to really get in depth and read the like devotionals that go along with them, and to learn more and to really like deepen my relationship with the Lord, and to help my family to come closer to the Lord also. Another thing is to pray every morning and night. I just think it's so important to be able to talk to God and to communicate your feelings and to help Him to lead your day. And I notice such a big difference when I do this, so I really want to do that every day. And then lastly is to reflect back on my progress and my goals every month. Like I said, there's so many goals that like it's easy to forget them and stuff. And so I just really like to break them down over the year into more manageable bits, and to kind of plan how I'm going to go about them. And by reviewing them every month and kind of making a plan every month, this helps me to stay on track and to get closer to my hopes and my dreams. And so that is a big goal, is to just keep up on them and to really track them every so often. But I hope this was helpful for you and gave you a little bit of inspiration for what you can do to help make your dreams come true in 2022 as well. And I'm excited for all that this year will bring, and I'm excited to make more videos this year and to share more inspiration with you. And so I hope that you all have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.